So I wanted to, I don't know, Ashlynn, if I told you what we're doing with these guys. I wanted to like them to hear from other people. We're doing a call once a month, like a leader call with people that are, they don't necessarily have to be a certain rank, but people who were really working the business in the past or are still, or a lot of them are diamond, lifetime diamond. Some of them are emerald lifetime, but we ran a group, gosh, like a year and a half ago, maybe a leadership group, maybe it was 2 years ago, called Rock Your Business. Mm-hmm. And it was an awesome group. It was like literally accountability. And we all listened to, what did we do, Christy? Listened to Six Figures in 6 months, and then didn't we read a book too, 21 Irrefutable Laws? I think I did we listen to that or read that?
I just remember Danny.
Yeah, we like redid what Summer Tucker did with me, with some of the people, with some of our leaders, and it was an awesome group. And we've just kind of kept it open. It's kind of like our leader page. So I wanted to have guests on who were kind of leaders in the company, had success with the business, and who are kind of in a place, I guess it could be looked at as above, but just like a different place they've had success, to share tips and tricks. So tonight I asked Ashlynn to share a couple of tips on maximizing the we were talking about it the other day, that she had learned something in particular that has grown your income by like 30%, right? Just by doing one simple thing that you used to kind of think was sketchy and kind of MLM-y. And I'm just building to 2-star in general, because Ashlynn, are you 3 or are you 4-star yet?
I fell out, so I'm 2.
Oh, you're 2. But like lifetime, are you 3?
No, 2.
Oh, okay.
I fell out.
2-star, but she's like on the brink of 3 and 4, right? Because I know you were saying that you were super close to 3 and 4-star. So I wanted her to share just a couple of tips on how she has built to 2-star. And I want you to share your story a little bit with the business, because I love that you've been just like your journey a little bit as a coach. Okay. And then, yeah, I just love the idea of them learning from you just a couple of tips and tricks on how you've done it.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yep.
Okay, right. So I'm going to mute myself and shut up.
Okay, so I've been coach, I think 3.5 years. I should know these things. I don't know these things, but I've been coach a while. And I started out for the business opportunity. My husband worked for Beachbody Corporate, and I was very against anything network marketing, and had no interest even in Beachbody. I refused to use the products, and went to the gym, wouldn't drink Shakeology. And anyways, I started watching, after probably 2 years, some of these coaches that I had met at Summit and that my husband was mentoring. And I saw that they were like real people doing really good things. And they were doing some of the stuff I was already doing. So I'm like, okay, this isn't as shady as I thought it was. So I signed up for the business opportunity. Within that first month, I realized this is way more than a business opportunity. And it became completely opposite for me, which is super weird probably. But like, I have no idea what I make ever, because I don't care. So I've signed up for the business op, but I'm not motivated by money at all. So my husband takes care of that, but it's all as well. And so I really just enjoy the relationships part. I love to help people. And I love that it gives us an opportunity to influence people. And so I really try to use my platform as Mama Bear Fitness to share what I am passionate about and to influence. So, all right. So part of, let's see, I mean, I've grown pretty slow and steady. And my coach is Stephanie Richardson. She is one of the top, she's been elite coach. Like there's only like 3 other people that have been elite as many times as her. She's been a top 10 coach. She's been around for a long time. And she kept saying like, come on, Ashlynn, build to 2-star, build to 2-star. And I was like, I don't even get what you're talking about. Like, one, like why? I get that we're supposed to build rank, but why 2-star? Like what is so important about 2-star? And because I wasn't willing to ask those questions, she never explained it to me. So this is not a dig on her. This is my own like uncomfortable stupidity that I'm like, I don't even ask. So I really looked at 2-star as when I started kind of researching it, as like, this doesn't seem right. It seems a little sketchy, because I realized 2-star means, for me, it was, I can make somebody else a diamond and I can make my spouse a diamond. And so for that, I was like, okay, well, it's really just me. And so why am I getting recognized for me doing the same thing I've already done to get to diamond? But then she started, actually my husband started explaining, well, you can open a second business center when you become a 2-star. And again, didn't understand what that meant. And so he explained it to me. And let me show you really quick. You guys probably already know what this is basically, but so this is basically what mine looks like, and yours may be opposite. You may have your spouse on your strong leg. Depends on your skill set and where, your coach had you place your spouse. But my spouse is on my weak leg. And when I put I guess you guys can see if I put a cursor, right? You guys can see that. So my husband's right here, and I continue to put people over here on my weak leg, and I benefit from having him right here. So, I get myself to Success Club 5, and then I jump over and I sell stuff under my husband and get him to Success Club 5. So I'm enjoying that double benefit of the volume and the commission. But when I was able to open that second CVC, it gave me the opportunity. Now, this second CVC is actually me. It's just another Ashlynn Mitchell. And I have a separate email. I have a separate coach ID. I have a whole separate back office. It's a separate coaching account, but it's me. And it's connected to this account. So I still get recognition. I still, like, these points down here, everything volume-wise is still serving me for, like, if I was going for elite or any of those things, it still helps me. So the great thing about this is I sell now my business plan is that I sell product under this account right here, no longer under this account, okay? So when I sell a challenge pack, or when someone buys like Shakeology or something like that, I gain the commission here, and then I have that volume, and then it goes to my spouse right here. So I'm doubled, and then it comes up here to me. So I have triple benefit right here, instead of just me selling one thing here. And so I opened my second business center in January. And by February, my spouse, Kobe, was like, have you looked at what you're making? Like and January is a good month for me. But that aside, I had grown my business by 30% and have continued to grow like that ever since. And I'm retailing about the same each month. It's just that I'm doing it under that second business center so that I'm benefiting all the way up. So does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. Okay. So the great thing about the second business center is you don't have to order something. So I totally thought you did. So I only pay the $15.95 a month. I didn't even buy anything when I opened that second business center. I just signed up, paid the $40, and became a coach under myself. And because I sell and retail, I am an active coach. And I put new coaches under that business center as I'm building that to a diamond right now. Okay. There's some, I don't know if you guys have heard it. You can raise your hand. If you've heard of the golden egg opportunity, has anyone heard that? Okay. So have you guys heard it, Tiffany? No? You haven't? You have. When I explain it, you have. Okay. So like a million coaches have said, this is a golden egg opportunity when you open another business center. And so basically you don't have to do this, but it's an option. If you're like a really good recruiter, then this is your jam. Okay. So basically it is, you know that the date of when you will be opening your second business center. So once you hit 2-star, it's on you. Like, when are you going to open your second business center? So you pick that date and you say, you know what, April, or let's say May 15th. May 15th, I am going to be opening up my second business center, which means this is a golden egg opportunity for everyone who signs up as a coach before May 15th. Because what that means is that you're placed above me, and I'm going to be a coach that's under you, feeding you volume, okay? So it makes it a great opportunity for people who are like, I want to build the business, and I need that strong leg, and I'm willing to give it to them. So it's kind of a marketing recruiting tool. If that's something that you're really good at, it's a great way. My success partner, Jenny Laurie, that's how she got to Diamond very quickly when she opened her second business center, because she already had all the coaches to put under there. She was like, she'd already reached out to her current customers, and then people who she had done like a coach sneak peek with. She already had them all ready to go. So she opened that second business center, and boom, she was Diamond within a week. So it's a great opportunity. Another thing, let's see, you can continue to open coach business centers. So every time you hit 2-star, so your second business center can become 2-star, and then you can open another business center under that. So the benefits of just more volume, more commission and stuff as it just continues to grow. You can have 25 business centers under your account and your spouse's account, which, I mean, that's a zillion, that's 50. Not a zillion, but it's 50. Okay, so that's the basics of that. So it's super basic. So if you have questions, I'm happy to answer. But I'm going to talk about how do you actually like get there, continue to move forward. So 2-star is definitely not a destination, and not somewhere where it's a great place to be. I felt like when I was able to reach 2-star, and I really got that in, like, this is my focus right now, and this is why I want it, because I want to grow my business and my income. That's when things really happened for me. Like, okay, the momentum really finally hit. And all those things that my coach had told me, really, it did work. And you know this, when your team starts to feel that momentum, they start to see the momentum too. And it's an exciting time. So the best advice, and you guys have heard this before, is to never bank on like a certain coach or a certain challenger, like someone saying, I'm going to sign up on Friday, and then Friday comes and they didn't sign up. Like, I don't count anybody as in until they're in. And so I might visualize. I'm a big believer in visualizing and saying, you know what, here's my group. It's April 24th, and I have this, and this person signed up. They haven't really signed up, but I can believe they have signed up, but I don't bake on them, okay? So I continue to invite. I continue to recruit, and I don't get stuck and hung up and I'm trying to drag those coaches along who really aren't in that place that they want to work. So I have actually plenty of coaches whom I love. They're great friends. Haven't actually met most of them in person. They signed up with me in the beginning. They're still with me. They've quit their, working business, but they know I haven't like deserted them and said, I hate you because you're not working your business. I've just said, you know what? I'm here when you want me. But other than that, like, go and do and take care of yourself. And I'm here. Like, you can do challenge groups, whatever. I'll take care of you. And so, yeah, sometimes they come back after a year and a half. I have 2 that have done that this year, which is awesome and crazy and hard, but they're here and they're ready to not be dragged and just continue to grow. So I would recommend that. Another great thing is don't grab at straws. Like, I tell my coaches all the time, I'm sure Tiffany does too, like, put your blinders on. You guys are awesome as you are. And the minute that you take those blinders off and start looking around, you start going, I'm not awesome, and I suck at being a coach, and everything I'm doing is wrong, and I have to change it. And that's when I'm like, most of the time, everyone I've seen that's done that, your business goes to crap because you try to be someone you're not, and your following will know that. They'll be like, who is this person? So that's like, as far as I told Tiffany, I went and met with my sister today, who's not at all in our line of work, but she's a small business owner. And we both struggle with, okay, well, what do we do to maximize our business and to grow, online, and to be more organized without grasping at straws and buying every new thing that's out there. Like, you should do this academy, do this online academy, learn about Instagram, learn about Snapchat. And it's like, holy crap, just like get good at something instead of crappy at everything. So that's it. Like, figure out whatever Tiffany's great at personalities. Figure out what works for your personality, like organizational wise, and make it work for you, and just stick to something. I had a coach who was struggling, and I loved what her plan was. Her game plan was, I'm not going to do something new. I'm not going to start something new and create a new group or create a new content. I'm going to go back to the months that I was doing awesome, and I'm going to see what I have stopped doing. Like, where have I gone astray? And to me, that was like, yes, like that's exactly, like, what have we done different to get out of that, whatever was working? Another one, which this goes in a kind of off, but this is what will help you keep that momentum once you start feeling like, okay, I'm feeling really good and things are really starting to move forward, or you want those things to happen. Really figuring out who you are is a huge part of it. So if you guys don't know who you are and you're saying yes to everything, or you're saying no when maybe you should say yes, you likely don't have any boundaries. And boundaries are super hard to figure out, and they're even harder to keep. But if you, the way to figure out how to create them and how to keep them is figuring out who you are. Because when you know who you are, you know what you value, and you know what's most important to you, then from there you can say, you know what, my family is first, or my church is first, or my kids come first, or my spouse comes first, or my business comes first. Like, I don't care what your values are, but you have to figure it out. And from there, it's really, really easy for you to say, okay, so because I value my family, I know that I need to, like, time management has to be number one priority for me. So that means I'm not going to do team calls so for me, I don't do team calls at night. I do them during the day, because that I value that time, whatever. So you're lucky, Tiffany. Just kidding. I missed out on bedtime. So I normally, like, that's one of my boundaries, but I broke it for Tiffany because I love her. Okay. Keep it simple. So a big one, I'm not sure. I'll come in a second. A big one is burnout. And I think we've all been there. If you haven't been there, then you're a rock star. But most of us come to either one day of the month or one day or a full year, whatever it is, where you're just like, what am I doing? Like, is this am I doing things wrong? I'm tired. You're stressed out. It's usually like what we were talking about, the lack of boundaries, but it's also like, maybe we're doing too much. It's that, sorry, I'm a snuggler. The burnout for me is when I try to do way too much in a month, when I start to avoid my work, and I'm a big avoider. It's like that eat that frog. It was made for me. And when I don't do it, that's when I start to burn out, because I just avoid, and then it builds and builds and builds. And then I get super stressed out and don't want to do it. So if you guys are on this call, it's because you have a business. You guys already have a team and you are leaders. And so being able to do your best to stay out of that burnout and to watch for it in your own coaches and team, and kind of lead and guide them so that they don't fall into the traps that likely we've all fallen into, is awesome, because it will save all of you that hassle. Let's see. So Tiffany gave, if you guys haven't watched the call that Tiffany gave for us on Monday, it was on the gems and personalities, and it was amazing. And one thing that I love, and Tiffany's super good at, is relationships, informing people, and really figuring out why they are following along in your journey, or why you guys are friends, why you guys have connected in whatever way you've connected. And part of the benefit of doing all those things, and that includes people in your challenge groups, continuing to get to know them and to understand them and to cheer them on. That's when you get to handpick your team. And that's the cool part is, like today I had a challenger call, a video call just like this. And some of those girls, like I was writing down names, like I want her on my team. Like she's hilarious. Oh my gosh, she makes me laugh. I want you. And it was like exciting for me because it wasn't this like icky, yucky, I'm going to go send them a form email and invite them to be a coach. It's like, dude, you're funny and you need to be a coach because we need more funny coaches. So you get to handpick people. So do it. Let's see.
Where's Tiffany?
That's it. Tiffany's right there.
Get here.
All right. So that's basically it. I probably missed some stuff, but that's good enough, right? I can't hear you guys.
Tyler wants me to unmute him.
Yeah. So Ashlynn, one of the things that we had talked about before was like on maximizing the comp plan, about where to place. What was it? What did we talk about?
Where to place your second business center?
No, call
Your
my
spouse?
mom's thing.
Oh,
Placing new coaches underneath.
do you do that with Kobe?
Sponsored by you as it's your personally sponsored coach, but they're placed underneath.
Do you place them under Kobe's weak leg or your second business? Like, do you place them under the weak leg of your second business center?
So it depends on where I need them. So right now, currently, Kobe fell out of Diamond. So we're working on getting back like a business builder for him. So it's kind of, I'm playing in between right now. So,
You change, right? I mean, that is a strategy that you guys can use. And we've talked a little bit about it with a few of you guys, but like if you can place someone on the weak leg of like her second business center, or I can actually place people under Tyler's weak leg. Like that's where their placement is, but they're sponsored by me. So instead of going to the outside, you can actually place them on the weak leg of a second business center or a spouse, so that you're building their weak leg, and then you're building actually Tyler's on my strong leg, but you're building like both at the same time, the volume everywhere. So there's strategies like that you can also think about doing. That's a good point. But it's always changing, right? It's like if you need it for rank, if you need it for volume, wherever you're building at the time that you're building. So.
right. And honestly, what you said is brings up a good point, because I was taught you just do left and right. And that's what you do when you're like super basic. But when it becomes more like this, you have to start being more deliberate in where they are placed. And to be honest, that's when I like reach out to either Kobe, who understands it more, or my coach, and like, okay, show me where you would do it,
Same with when you open, if you're like, when I don't know where to place, I'll have Tyler look at it. Or my coach used to do, somebody that's an emerald personality and knows like the compensation plan, or knows like if you guys came to me and said, where's the best place to place this someone, I would for sure ask Tyler, because that's his forte. It's not mine. But I used to ask my coach too, and I've asked Kobe before too. Like when I opened my second business center, I said, where is the smartest place for this to go? So mine is in a different place than Ashlynn's because of the way my volume is, and where I was told to do it, I just did it. So
yeah, that's the hard thing, I think. And Tiffany said this earlier this week, like there is no wrong placement, as far as like you can always look back and regret, like someone I've heard.
You're always going to regret something, right?
But that's the thing is like, yeah, if somebody's always going to say, I'm going to work hard, put me like in your best spot, and then they don't do anything. And then the person who surprised you, you're like, dang it. So like, just move on and be like, awesome. I have someone who's working.
Right. You just place people and then move on, because there's nothing, I mean, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm on my coach's strong leg, and there was a whole reason I was put there. It was a big drama, but she was so upset about it that she would go and calculate like all the time how much money she would be making if I was on her weak leg. And like, that is like such a waste of energy. Like use your energy to find 4 more coaches. Don't use your energy to sit there and wish that it was different. And I think it just comes down to that whole, I'm brightening us. I think just, that's something you can say about your business in general, is like, stop wasting your time. It's the same with putting your blinders on. Like, stop watching other people and just do your thing. Like, figure you out and don't worry about what Ashlynn's doing. I follow Ashlynn because she's my friend, but I don't try to be her because we're completely different people. If I tried to be her, people would be like, what? This isn't Tiffany. Like, she's not organized and she doesn't dress fancy and she doesn't ever look good. So what's wrong? Like, just be yourself. I loved, Ashlynn, that you said, when things were the best, what have I stopped doing?
Yeah.
I've said that to myself so many times. Like, when things have been the best in my business, what was I doing? Like,
right.
What was I doing? And 90% of the time, or maybe even 100% of the time, it's like super simple, basic, being consistent.
You know what? It's when I feel like when my stuff goes south and like my mojo gets off and I start feeling like overwhelmed and maybe even like not like I'm doing a great job, it's when I've tried to do something new. Like, I'm going to do this new free group. I'm going to do something that doesn't make me any money. It's awesome. And then I'm like, what in the, like, I just wasted a whole week of my time and effort to create that. And then it fell flat. And then, and so I think trying new things is great, but keep doing the other stuff that's already working.
Right. And it's so simple. We hear over and over again, this business it's so simple. It's almost painful because it's like, if it's so simple, then why isn't everybody making 6 figures? Why isn't everybody a 15-star? And it's because it's so freaking simple that people don't do it. They try this way and that way, and then they're here and then they're there, and then they fall off the wagon for 3 months, and then they try to get back on. They fall off the wagon again for 2 months, and it's like, I heard,
the book you're reading.
Get over your damn self.
Yeah,
like, you guys should, if you guys haven't read this, I am not finished with it, but it's really, really good and very, like, can you see it? Am I doing it?
Get out of the glare.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure
If
they
you
can
can
look
see
it up.
Yeah.
By some lady named Romy.
Yeah.
But read that book because it's very straight to the point, and she was in network marketing and has built a huge business. So, you have to keep things simple. The more you get like wrapped up in everything else, the further south you're going to go. That's how I feel it's been for me.
But I like what you said, Ashlynn, about figuring out who you are and just really like going in that direction. That it reminded me. I remember Jim Rohn had a quote kind of along the similar lines, but about personal development type stuff, where, a lot of people will read this book and then they'll read that book and then they'll go to this, like you said, like that webinar training or whatever, like doing all these different things. And it's all like very shallow information, but in a wide range. You've got all these different areas that you're learning about, but it's all very shallow. And he said, your time is better spent picking a specific area, and he's referring to personal development, but the same thing, goes with this too. But pick a specific area and go deep with it, and figure out all the ins and outs, and really get to know yourself. So that's kind of what I took out of what you said. Is figure out who you are and get really good at it.
Yeah. Well, and if you can figure out who you are, you not only set boundaries and like are better at what you're doing, but you start branding yourself naturally. Like it just becomes like, oh, this is who you are. And you start saying the same verbiage and you start using the same, it's branding. So
it is. And that branding, you guys, is so powerful. And Ashlynn is if there's one thing you can learn from her social media, it's branding. Like, the fact that people know she loves cinnamon rolls, her brand, like Kobe's sexual addiction that they've dealt with has branded her. I can't talk tonight. Her kids being sexually abused. I think everybody, our coaches all sign up thinking they have to just sell products, and that, like, the more set apart you can be, like Ashlynn, the more of a like funnel of people exactly like you that you have, which is so powerful. I told Ashlynn today, if you can get a tribe of people, holy crap, Christine.
She brightened you up.
Like, what?
Whoa. Now you can see
Now I feel like I'm even brighter because of her screen. I had to like lower mine because I was like, oh, it's like Jesus over here. But the more branded you can be, like I told Ashlynn today, they have had all these business opportunities coming up outside of Beachbody because of her branding. So it's so powerful.
But Ashlynn, how do you think, and maybe you know this and maybe you don't, but the number of people that you attract and that like join a challenge group or you sell products to or whatever, how many of those people do you think you attract with like selling Beachbody products versus telling your story?
I think most of them, it's telling the story. Like a lot of people, they love, like I post stupid workout video every single day. Like it's dumb. And I always thought like, I'm not going to do that. It's dumb. But when I don't, and I do every day now because when I don't, people are like, I miss your kid. Like, where's your funny kid video? And I'm like, oh my, seriously? Like, what is this giving you? But it's giving them like, it can be fun and it can be whatever. And so they see that, but it's that whole, what Tiffany said in our call. What is it? Like, trust. No.
Oh, people will buy from you if they like, trust, and know you. Trust you.
And so that's how I mean, it took me a while to get to that point where people liked and trusted and know me, but yeah. It
took time to build that momentum. I would say for, maybe even a year or 18 months for you to really feel like that momentum was like, oh,
for sure. Like it wasn't a stretch. And I told another coach the other day, because she said, I finally stopped worrying about Success Club and I just get it. Like it just comes because I'm naturally like more confident. I naturally believe that like good things will just come because I'm doing the basics. And I'm like, yes, that's exactly what it is. And I try to like pass that on. And it's hard. It's a hard thing to understand until you actually can do it yourself and say, I'm not going to be this one track mind of I have to hit Success Club, because there's so many other parts of that. Like, well, you sell something, but you forget about the relationships, so.
Something else.
Oh, you like my posts?
I love your posts, Ellie. Especially your wigs in the morning when you work out. That's my favorite. I'm like, forget Ashley and Kobe. I want to watch Ellie.
That's my mom. She's like, more Ellie, get out of the way.
That's where I think.
Yes.
That's where I think you, like I was saying, that's what I asked is do you sell, and attract people based off of telling your story or based off of trying to sell fitness products? But and this is what we've talked about a lot of times, is just telling a story, right? Is you're branding yourself, you're telling this story, you're connecting with people, and you're just building relationships and getting to know people. And then once they have that relationship with you, then it's like, oh, hey, Ashlynn, she's, this great lady that I learned all this awesome stuff from. Oh, by the way, maybe I'll, buy something from her.
I need to lose weight.
Yeah. Oh, or, my neighbor talked about losing weight, and, oh, hey, I know this awesome girl. So why don't you go check her out? And I think that's, like you said, it takes a while, and it's not like a direct sell. It's not like hey, I'm going to post this, or I'm going to run a challenge group and I'm going to get 3 people in return.
Right.
It's like it's a harvest instead of a hunter type of approach.
Oh, yeah, a farmer versus a hunter. Yeah. I remember you talking always about like give. Like you have to give people and add value before they're ever going to want to buy anything from you. Like I have a lady that sells Unique. And I don't wear makeup. Like, you guys know, I don't wear makeup. And I want to, like, find something to buy from her because I like her so much. Like, Ellen. I like her so much. She's, like, such a cute lady that I'm like, I want to buy something for you just because I like you. But I don't, like, I can't wear anything because now we have to get rid of all non-toxic crap or toxic crap. So I can't buy anything. I even had her send me the list of the ingredients in the skincare to see if I could buy skincare because I like her.
Yeah.
However, I have another girl on my feed that sells it that drives me crazy, that I'm not going to buy from because I don't like her. And she's nice.
You can just refer business to her.
Right? I could refer business to her. I actually told her, maybe you should like do my makeup and do like a makeover on me.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, and she was like, oh my gosh, I'd totally do that. Anyway, I want to
buy.
So
it's not about the customer, remember, or it's not about them necessarily. It's like about the 2,000 people that they know too. So if you like take care of that one person really well, then they have all those connections. It just opens like so many more doors. That's why it's like it's never about the sale. It's about, like you said, Ashlynn, it's about that relationship that can now like form and bud, and because that's just like never ending if you do it the right way, you know.
For sure. And you know, I imagine like whenever you start to get maybe more than 1,000 followers, people are like, when they comment or when they send you a message, sometimes they're surprised, like, oh, you're actually going to respond to me? That's awesome. And the more you can do that, even if they don't buy anything, they look at you more as like, okay, she's a real person and she's not too cool to comment or reply to something, you know?
Right.
And so my thing that I, to end with is that figure out who you are by deciding what you want people to say when you leave the room. You know, that's how are they going to describe Christy and Christy? Wait, you're both Christy.
Wait, so which one's which? Am I Christy?
Like, I know Christy Porters. Okay. Anyways, Christy and Christy. What are they going to say about you? You know, are they going to say like, oh, she's so awesome and she does this and this and this. That's why you should follow her. Or that's why you should go to her for makeup, or, you know, it's that.
Yep. That's awesome.
Okay.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing your tips and ideas. And as you guys can see, it's not like anything magical. She didn't have like some big old spiel about like, here's the trick, you guys. This is how I did it. It's like, it just takes consistency and effort, and finding yourself is, I always say, if people aren't willing to dig in and figure out who they are, you're not going to go anywhere, because all those blocks and, you know, barriers are up, and you're not really going to get very far if you're not willing to unpeel the layers of the onion that are kind of over your heart.
Yep.
So,
people can feel it.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you for your time. So I did not know that this was a boundary you had. I mean, I knew you did your team calls in the morning, but I didn't know it was like, I don't do things at night. So thank you for breaking me.
Thanks, Ashlynn.
You guys have ever heard of Rad Kid? Because tomorrow I'm starting to do Rad Kid.
That's awesome. Are you naked right now?
Yeah, she's super excited. So
You get too hot at night.
Awesome.
I still think
sorry. We speak naked.
Nice.
Good to see you, Ellie.
Ellie, thank you for sharing your mom with us tonight.
Thank you for sharing her. We love her. And we love you. Okay, we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Recording with all the other girls.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
This is
Bye.
goodbye.
Oh my gosh.